Well, I got an email this morning from a good friend that a very dear friend of mine's husband is going into hospice, and that he doesn't have very long, and that she too is dying. So I'm kind of caught up in the reflections on death this morning. My friend has been battling, living with, working with cancer for a long time, 11, 12 years. She's had multiple surgeries and multiple rounds of chemo and radiation and all kinds of things. So in a way, this, we've known for years that this email would come. Her husband, however, only discovered that he had, for sure, that his liver was cancerous a few months ago. And so after many years of all of them both living with this situation and thinking how he will go on after she's gone, death is certain and the time of death is uncertain, and her husband is going first. So one of the sentences in the email was that, won't use their names, but she said, "Sharon wants to make sure we know she is dying and has a bit longer. David does not have very long." So, of course my first impulse is that I want to go help. I want to, support, see her one more time. But there are plenty of really capable people there. She has lots of friends and support, and my friend is also a very deeply philosophical person. She has some Dharma in her mix of things and has been using it a lot and sharing her process as she goes along. So what's true, that I know that the best possible thing I can do for her is to stay here and practice. But it's so valuable when someone close to us dies, because somehow in this thickly obscured mind of mine, this idea that it's actually going to happen to me is quite elusive. But in the face of a very, dear friend, to be able to go, look, this is happening to her, it will happen to me, it will happen to you, and you, and you, and you. Death is certain for all of us. It's really a very, very rich reminder. It's a great time to actually use the Dharma to get in touch with that truth, and then think about how I'm using every moment of my life. How much is my mind engaged in developing bodhicitta moment to moment? How much is my mind engaged in thinking about the nature of reality moment to moment? It's not. I'm tied up in, what are we having for lunch, and this email didn't go out, and I don't have ink in my printer, how come the thing won't print? I mean, these ridiculous, true, real things, but not something at all to get hung up about. When we've had the opportunity to meet these precious teachings and do so much more with our minds. So I'm very much appreciating my friend, and I know that she would be very happy for me to be able to use the circumstances of her life to deepen practice. Quite a few years ago, I had the opportunity to attend the death of a friend of mine who was a Buddhist. And about a week before she died, I was sitting with her and another friend who was also a Buddhist. It was just the three of us at that particular time. And she looked at me and our friend, other friend, and she said, I have spent my whole life running around, organizing classes, teaching this healing technique that I thought would be helpful for people. And she said, I thought that was spiritual work. And now I realize that I wish I had taken the time to practice Dharma. So my other friend and I just looked at each other like our jaws dropped. She might have been quoting from any Lam Rim text ever written, but she wasn't. She was talking about her life. And she said, I wish I had practiced the Dharma more. So as a propeller, a compeller for practice, actually both of the people who heard that statement are now ordained Buddhist monastics. It was a really catalyzing moment in my life. And so I want to use my friend's death now to use this to the same advantage, and perhaps we all can look at the places and the people in our lives who have died, who can help us remember that death is certain, and the time of death is uncertain, and nothing helps, nothing goes with us at the time of death but the Dharma that's in our own minds and in our own hearts.